Well, good morning, everyone. How is everyone out there? It's still chilly in California, but it's supposed to be 80 degrees today. I am so looking forward to it. So everybody is brought up to speed here. The guys and I were talking backstage before we came on. We were talking about boats. And we were talking about Dave's birthday yesterday, and he said he got some things for his pontoon boat. And that kind of reminded me of a story. I bought my first boat when I was 25 years old. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. Never owned a boat in my life, right? So I buy the boat, and the dealer is driving me down. This is when I lived in Dana Point, in Dana Point Harbor. And the dealer's driving me down. I'm in the boat. He's got me hooked up to a truck, and they're taking me to the launch pad. And as we're getting the boat in the water, he's backing it in, and he says, "Well, do you have a slip?" And I'm like, "A slip? For what?" Right? I didn't even think it through to the point of getting a slip. So he's like, "Yeah." So I get on my cell phone. I'm calling the harbor master because they have guest slips, right? So we're backing the boat in. I'm in there. I'm on the phone with the harbor master. They happen to have a slip available. So I'm learning how to navigate the boat. I'm pulling into the guest slip, right? And I realize at that moment, boats don't have brakes. And I'm thinking, oh my God. So as I'm pulling in, and it just so happens that slip is the closest one to the brake wall, the wall next to it, right? I couldn't gotten the one that was on the other end. It was next to the wall. So I'm pulling in, and I realize, oh my God, I don't have any brakes. So I slam it into reverse, and the boat does this, right? And goes backwards. And I realize there's a boat behind me. So I slam it forward again, right? It was an absolute you-know-what show. And so I'm finally getting in. I'm starting to turn it, and the prop hits the wall next to the slip. You talk about the ugliest sound you've ever heard. Everybody runs out of their boats, throwing me ropes. Shut it off, shut it off, shut it off. That was my first experience with a boat.
You're that guy.
Huh?
You were that guy.
I was that guy. I'm telling you, that was one of the worst experiences, and that noise that it makes. Holy smokes. Well, everybody, we were just talking about boats, so I thought I'd bring everybody up to speed on my first escapade in a boat. But it was fun. It was enjoyable. How about you, Dave? How was your birthday yesterday?
Very good. Survived. We ran late last night waiting for dinner and an opening presents. So me and James did not get back together last night, but we're hoping to have a little lunch today. So we'll see how that goes.
Excellent.
Do you have any boat stories, Dave?
No, nothing to that extreme. No, no, I do get myself into trouble sometimes, but I usually can hide it pretty good.
There's a video out there somewhere. Somebody's got that on film.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Exactly. So, James, how's it going in the great state of Iowa?
Actually, it's good. Got to run around with Dave yesterday after the live, and we procured some silver, which was fun. We had a good time with that, and maybe we'll get back into that today. Don't know. Price seems to be a little bound. Here comes.
Oh,
something.
the Trump train! Nice. Sorry, everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, never mind. It's all good. We're having fun.
Exactly. Thank you, Mary Lee Brown, for sending our first Trump train. Alex, are you ready? Oh, actually, let me say some good mornings first. Boy, I'm just losing I just completely, it came off the rails with the boat story. All right, let's see who we've got here. Rick Sr. is with us. Benji, 1959. Oh, gosh. Bat and Ballin said, "Happy Market Manipulation Day, Patriots." Boy, isn't that the truth? Never happened before. As far as I know, what, a $2 trillion swing in about an hour? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Ungovernable is here. Mary Lee Brown. Joy is here. Good morning, Joy. Christy B. from Hayesville, Kansas. Nutty 81. Teresa Ann is here. Nina is here. Hey, Nina. PJ Party Peggy is here. Good morning, PJ. Let's see. Doug Rice 59. Hits. Good morning, Hitesh. Chris Romano, Dave 6470, Jan Lovin being grandma said, "Grand rising, fellow patriots." Grand rising to you as well, Jan. Oh my gosh. Rodney Nixon is here from Rodney, Tennessee. Excellent. Cindy Hayden, 59. Martini time. Nut is here. Grand rising to you as well, Nut. Well, look who it is. Allie Mae. Good morning, Allie Mae. Brian is here. Wildlife fan. Holy smokes. Deb S. from Central Massachusetts said it's 26 degrees there. Ooh, burr is all I can say. Squiggly 77 is here as well. Sky Dancer. Everybody. Oh, look at Mama Bear. Good morning, Sam fam. Me and my client are listening in today. Wonderful. Well, hello to you, Mama Bear, and to your client. Sherry from East Tennessee. Ice 1717 said, I'm the captain now. Yeah, believe me, anybody other than me behind the wheel of a boat. Helpful Honey is here. Melissa Flinner. Good morning. Tanya Moonsheiber. Holy smokes. Magic. Kelly Thurman, too. Pat Wallen said Skipper. You mean like in Gilligan's Island? Exactly. Exactly. Holy smokes. All right. Well, let's see. Oh, boy. Brian said, why do Sam's stories end in tragedy? Oh, that's the beginning of it. Are you kidding me? So in Dana Point, you can't really go anywhere on a boat. I mean, it has a harbor, but there's no restaurants or anything. So I owned a health club at that time. So I would shut the health club down, at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday, jump on my boat, and I would hightail it to Newport Beach. Right now, this is back when I used to drink and do other things. And I'd go to Newport Beach, we'd pull into a place called Woody's Wharf, park the boat, drink and eat all night, and then turn around, jump on the boat, and fly back to Dana Point. So, and there were times when in the coast you have kind of a mist on the water, right? So it's hard to see. And so I'd have to turn off my running lights so that I could see where I was going. And when you do that, I mean, my God, it's amazing I'm alive today. I'm telling you. So yeah, Gilligan's Island is no exaggeration. Lisa Maria, good morning, Lisa. AJMCSJ is here. Holy smokes, Kevin Kiesler. If I missed anybody, my apologies. The chat is just flying this morning. Let's see. Oh, we've got another chat. Well, let's see who we have over here. Paul Rick is here on YouTube. And David Morales, good day from London. Good day to you as well, David. Leonard Little, I'm married to Bob. Vicky Veronic. Holy smokes, the whole gang is here. All right. Well, let's see, Alex. What did we have in terms of Brian said the skipper's got nothing on you. Exactly. I don't know. Ginger and Marianne, I could probably make that work. But Alex, what about some indices this morning?
I'll do those real quick, but I'm going to share a boat story also.
Excellent.
So with open bow, ski boat. Go ahead.
I'm trained.
You've seen Lisa Piquel and Brian that are in the chat. Well, years and years ago, we were on the lake, and my wife and Lisa and Brian, there were clouds coming. I was like, we need to get off the water. And, they're phone meteorologists, and they're like, oh, no, we're going to be fine. Look, it's going to split. It's going to split. We'll be fine. I'm like, we need to get off the water. No, it's good. We're good. We're good. And I'm like, okay. We end up having to pull into the harbor because there's like 70 miles.
Oh, the Trump train. Sorry.
There's like 70 mile an hour straight line winds, which creates like 4 to 5 foot waves on the lake. I had pulled into a cove, pulled up to the bank, threw the anchor up on the bank.
4 to 5 foot waves in a lake?
Yeah, bro, for real. So I had to get out of the boat, and I'm standing in the water next to the boat holding the rail to keep it from swinging into the rocks that are on the other side of the beach. They're all in the boat with towels over their head. It rained so hard that the bilge pumps were kicking on and getting the water out of the boat.
Jeez.
Meanwhile, literally 25 feet from us on the bank, lightning strikes a tree. It's a good thing I was in the water because I'd have had to clean my drawers. It was not pretty.
Wow.
So the running joke, so the running joke now is anytime, we see clouds or whatever, Lisa Piquel will be like, it's going to split.
Exactly.
Welcome in, everybody. I got my days straight today. 1/29/2026. It is Thursday, right? Everybody make sure I don't
It is.
here. Looking at the markets, S&P 500 down 67 points to 6,910. The Dow is down 100 points to 48,914, and the NASDAQ is down 425 points to 23,432. Looking at the oil, it is currently up $1.95. We're sitting at $65 a barrel. Overnight, folks, gold hit over $55.77 an ounce this morning. It went back down the other way, currently sitting down $134 at 5,287. Silver down $3 at $113. Looking at the indices, they're taking a bath this morning too. Somewhat of a retraction across the board for all markets. Bitcoin sitting currently up 0.4% after the bath it took overnight at 84,734. Ethereum sitting down 0.2% at 28.13. And XRP has rallied 1% from its tank, sitting at $1.81. Cardano up 1% at 33 cents, and Stellar Lumen XLM up 1.3% at 19 cents. Buy the dip.
Okay, great. Thanks, Alex. I thought you had something else going on there, just clearing your throat.
Not financial advice.
Exactly.
Buy the dip.
And my spidey sense tells me something's coming. I mean, they have this kind of a move today in gold.
So strange.
Crypto. It's so strange. John Gwynn said, I was in the Navy. I have lots of boat stories. Well, you're going to have to come on and tell us, John. We're going to probably do an evening live either tonight or tomorrow night. So keep an eye out for it. CG is here. Kathleen Garcia, Melissa Flinner. Thank you for all the gifts. You're so sweet. Carla Hushin, thank you for the Trump train. And it came at the right time, I'll tell you. Let's see here. Doug Rice said, I ran aground in my boat years ago. No beer was involved. Exactly. Oh, the Trump train. Another Trump train. You guys are on top of it today. David said, hi ho, silver. Boy, isn't that an understatement? Wow. Sue B just showed up. Good morning, Sue. Stein said, good morning, I'm here. I'm glad you can make it. Kevin Kiesler is here as well. Man, this chat is moving so fast, everybody. I'm trying to keep up. So if I miss somebody, my apologies. Andrea Lynn, 81. Layson Steele is here. She said, yoo-hoo, go gold, keep climbing. Boy, isn't that the truth. Bat and Ballin, thank you for all the gifts. Okay, Dave, what do we have for farming and agriculture today?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's kind of quiet across the grain mix. Corn is down. Corn is even across the board. Soybeans are down 2 to 3. Wheat is up 1 to 2. Cattle is down 0.36%. Hogs are down just a little over 0.1%. Kind of looking for some news with the USDA. A couple weeks back, Trump signed executive order to bring back whole milk for the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act. I follow a guy here on TikTok. He's out of Minnesota. Him and his family have been drinking whole milk out of their own cows, healing allergies and all kinds of stuff for them. So looks positive on that side of the stuff. So we'll see where that goes.
Well, it's interesting. So here in California, we couldn't buy raw milk for the longest time. It was against the law. And now we can buy it, and that's the only kind of milk that I drink. But what's interesting is this whole pasteurization process. You got to raise the milk up to 160 degrees to kill all the bacteria, but it also kills all the probiotics. So having the raw milk, having the whole milk is going to do wonders for so many people in America. I'm with you 100%, Dave.
Yep, allergies that was big with that family. So it's interesting. A lot of stuff I didn't know.
Yep, exactly. David said, listening to President Trump to hear if he name drops the Daily Dispatch. Yeah, I've been listening too, but I haven't heard anything yet. So President Trump, if you're out there listening to us, you can drop DD or Daily Dispatch or something like that, then we'll know it's a hat tip to us. Andrea Lynn, 81, said, today is her mama's heavenly birthday. Well, happy birthday, Andrea Lynn's mom. God bless her. God bless her. All right, let's see here. Mark Matson just showed up. Mama Sass is here. Good morning, Mama. Towie Bixby, our personal cheerleader. Her and PJ Party Peggy are our two most prominent cheerleaders for TAPS. You girls do a great job. Wildlife fan said, my local grocery store is selling raw milk. They also have so many different flavors. Interesting. Yeah, raw milk is the only kind of milk that I typically drink. Martin's WB is here. Good morning, Martin. Glad you could make it, brother. James, what do we have for a military report today?
Well, today, since boats are a topic we've all talked about before, the United States Coast Guard dispatched its most powerful ship and heaviest icebreaker to help free an Australian-owned cruise ship that wedged in the Antarctica back on January 17th. The Polar Star, boasting 75,000 horsepower, sliced through thick ice to freeze the scenic Eclipse 2 after circling it twice and escorting it 4 nautical miles to open water. The incident took place 8 nautical miles from McMurdo Sound. The Polar Star supports Operation Deep Freeze 2026. She supports search and rescue, airdrops, aeromedical evacuations, and ice breaking for fuel and cargo deliveries and other operations. The cutter has been deployed 29 times in support of the Antarctica program and is the United States' only heavy icebreaker. The rescue of the scenic Eclipse 2 occurred on the 50th birthday of the Polar Star.
Wow, great report, James, as always. Great report. Terry Walters is here from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Yes, we're all doing well. Glad you could make it. Crystal Zeski is here. Good morning, Crystal. Amanda Thomas said at 5.20 in the afternoon in UK. Not sure exactly what that means, but maybe you could fill us in the
5:20.
5:20. Yeah, I don't know. Jan Love and being grandma said
they're 6 hours ahead of us, so that's the time.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Jan Love and being grandma said that is awesome news, James. Oh, the Trump train! You guys are on top of it today. Holy smokes! Brian said, Sam, are you commenting in the chat? No, it's not me. Is there a I don't know who's doing that. Charlie, thank you for the Trump train. No, maybe there's a fake Sam account in there. Lord knows there's plenty of them to go around on TikTok.
36 to be exact.
36? Yeah, 36 fake accounts. Oh my gosh.
That's when you know you made it. That's when you know you made it.
I guess, man.
Well, and just so the viewers know, Sam's not going to call you. He's not going to reach out to you. He's not going to message you and ask you where you're from. He's not going to talk to you about the quantum financial system. If you see those accounts, if you go to report it and you say pretending to be someone else, if you actually you can choose celebrity and search Sam Shalhoub, and you can report that account for pretending to be somebody else. So
that would be great. Thank you,
Thank
Alex.
you.
Now, I do my best to respond to any messages from people that follow me. I do and I get a lot of them, and I do my best to respond, but no, I will never just reach out to somebody. All right, let's see. Quigley 77 said, dang, that many want to be you, Sam? Well, I don't know about that, but there certainly are plenty of them out there. Charlie said, it's cool in Montana. Hey, Christine Thomas just showed up. Hey, Christine. Oh, Kathleen Garcia's got her back in the chat. She said, Sam is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Exactly. Earl Shannon just showed up on YouTube. Good morning, Patriot Brothers from Minnesota. 6 degrees below zero, expecting a high of +6. Oh, my gosh, Earl. God help you is all I could say.
That's why James is in Iowa. It's at least 20.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Q17 says, nobody wants to be me. Come on now. Of course they do. Of course they do. Gen X Nick is here from West Michigan. Good morning, Gen X. CG said, I'm saddened you won't reach out to me. What do you mean I won't reach out? Of course I would, CG. All you got to do is message me. I know who you are. Former kissing bandit in lipstick. I know who you are. Sassy Minnesota girl just showed up. Good morning, Sassy. All right, well, let's jump into some stories here. James, we were talking about the military and reports. Well, a U.S. Armada arrived around Saudi Arabia, and they've denied airspace. Saudi Arabia and the UAE denied airspace access. Tehran's response to President Trump, time is running out. What do you make of that, James?
Well, I can tell you the UAE and Saudi Arabia are basically saying by not giving us the airspace, they're trying to manage a relationship with Tehran and maintain good terms with the United States. The signal to both sides is that they would like to remain neutral in the matter. But yeah, we don't need to land. Emergency landing only. We do have 2,500 troops in that region in Saudi Arabia. Um, but we got aircraft carriers. We got other places to land if we need to, and we can always ditch. But um, their capabilities are pretty meager compared to what we have floating around out there. And I'm just waiting for us to bomb the shit out of them.
Exactly, Dave.
Yeah, it's always an option on that. And obviously, they got to show uh, a sign of strength for sure. So uh, just put a little pressure on them, twist a little arms, it'll be fine.
Exactly. Exactly. Is that you, Alex, with that picture?
That's the Armada. Like,
Nice.
if you had that breathing down your neck, and that's probably not the exact Armada, but just to give people perspective, if that showed up on your front door, 4 letters come to mind.
Exactly. Exactly. I Speak 1717 said, Sam is not a Nigerian king with $1 million check for you. Exactly. Oh,
He might be your rich uncle though.
yeah, exactly. Holy smokes. Oh gosh, you guys are just cracking me up today. Let's see here. Wow. Melissa Flinner said, I'm ready for spring. Yeah, I think we all are. And that brings me back to this whole thing. Well, I won't get into that right now. So yesterday, the S&P broke 7,000 for the first time in history. Today, we have a multi-trillion-dollar swing when it comes to gold and silver. Like I said, my spidey sense is going off here. Alex, what do you make of it all?
In history, when we've seen these things happen, world conflict breaks out. So, someone posted in the chat, I don't remember who it was. I feel like something, big is coming. And I hope that's not the case. But and this is not doom and gloom, fear mongering, whatever, but I do fear, with all the positioning and jockeying and seeing what stock markets and gold and silver, and like, we all know what the war machine is. It's money, right? And it's what's been used to protect the fiat, and the fiat is under incredible assault right now, thanks to 47. So we'll have to hang on and see what happens. But I think everybody's kind of got that little spidey sense tingling that something big is brewing underneath the surface.
Exactly. James?
Well, collapsing the fiat's probably at the top of the list, but this is the first time in a 68-year history. They say it's driven by AI and strong tech earnings, powered by NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Alphabet. It took 14 months to go from 6,000 to 7,000.
Yeah, exactly. Dave, any comment?
Yeah, and the S&P has almost doubled since 2017. Right now, looking at silver, it's almost up to 115, and gold's at 53.30 right now, 31. So it's pushing back. We kind of talked about this earlier. If the idea is of removing the Fed, we've got to collapse the dollar. If that's the case, you got to have a reason, and then show fraud in it. I guess too would help,
Well,
which I think is all coming.
Well, and I think, from a global perspective, you have to have a level playing field. And the US dollar being the world's reserve currency, you're going to have fluctuation because if what Trump is trying to do, in my opinion, is he's trying to level the playing field. China first, Russia first, for their respective countries, and of course America first. And I think the only way you can do that is getting that playing field level when it comes to the different monetary systems around the world.
And do you guys think we'll bail out Japan?
I don't know what's going to happen with Japan. That's a really good question. I think a lot of this gold and silver spiking started when the bond issue took place in Japan last week. Now,
Right.
They were at 0% interest for 25 years. And then all of a sudden they raised it. That had to cause waves. Now, I'm no financial expert, and this is not financial advice. But when you see the type of movement that we're seeing when it comes to gold and silver, something's up. something is up. I
And
mean,
then with crypto just going dwindling down and just kind of like
right.
on a back burner,
Exactly.
on a lower heat. Like you're not important right now. We'll get to you when it's time.
Exactly. And again, leveling that playing field, I'm guessing. Kevin Kiesler said, I spent 4 years on the USS Constellation. Well, thank you for your service. Absolutely. Thank you. So Chris Romano said, I hope financial relief comes soon. Husband had a heart attack and is unable to work. I'm worried. I'm so sorry, Chris. I had no idea. Please, everybody, pray for Chris and her husband. That's what this community is about, is coming alongside one another, shoulder to shoulder, especially in the hard times. Chris, you have our thoughts and prayers for you and your husband. It's going to be okay. Hang in there. We're getting there. Tim Shaw said, just add Japan to the Greenland deal. Exactly. God, could you imagine? Holy smokes.
53rd state.
Yeah, exactly. Melissa Flinner said, I'm wondering if I need to build a bunker anytime soon. No, I don't think it's going to come to that. I don't think that's not to say we aren't going to have a scare event. I think we probably will, but I don't think it's anything to worry about, in my opinion. All right, well, let's see here. Let's move on. So this is interesting. Melania Trump rang the bell at the New York Stock Exchange yesterday. And lo and behold, what color dress was she wearing? Black. Dave, what do you make of that?
Yeah, of course, black is mourning, and we'll see what that consists of. It's a back burner to see what happens. It's no different than a silver dress on New Year's Eve and walking out to High Ho Silver.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
say it probably means something.
Exactly. James? Exactly. Exactly. Alex?
You can't rob the jewelry store and keep the diamonds.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is really, really cool, you guys. We brought up Chris Romano and her husband, and look at all the people in the chat. Sue B sending prayers. We have Rick Sr., Kathy Lofton, Chris Romano, so many people sending prayers. AJMCSJ, Boogie B, Mark Matz, everybody just praying for and wishing nothing but good things. That's what our community is all about. And it just makes me so happy. It warms my heart to see that. And then over on YouTube, we have Earl Shannon said, Hi, David. Good morning. My patriot British brother. See, borders don't matter when it comes to these things. We are in this together, whether in the UK, whether you're in the US, whether you're in Japan, Australia, New Zealand. We have people from all over the world. And I'm so grateful that we have a community that supports one another. That's what this whole thing is about, unity. Wendy 21, Andrea Lynn, Rick Sr., everybody just wishing nothing but good things for Chris and her husband. Oh man.
And Sam, do you see that they suspended our gifts on TikTok?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Apparently, they not only suspended gifts, but apparently that people aren't able to share the show out. I wonder if that has something with being over the target. What do you guys think? Or is it just TikTok, with the transition? Because there's been so many issues. Oh, no, it looks like they're back on now.
Oh, just came back on.
Yeah, that is so weird. Well, anyway, thank you all. Mama Sass, Melissa Flinner, everybody sending gifts. Interstate, the Trump train! James is just blowing us up today. I love it. Oh, my God.
I'll mute you, mister.
Thank you, Wendy. What's that?
I'll mute you, mister.
No, you can't. People like that. I like it, too. Let's see. So, anyway, Melania Trump, black dress. Alex, what do you make of it?
Allie, this is one of Allie's favorite topics. When she wore the Tiffany blue dress, when she, what a class act. I mean, really, what a class act. And I personally believe, Allie believes, I think that there's quite a bit of symbolism in the way that she chooses to show up in public appearances. I adore her. What an amazing individual. did he get kicked backstage? Oh, he's off. James got kicked out. That's all right. It's refreshing to see just the family message, the family unit, the elegance. She's a class act.
100% I agree. Lace and Steel, thank you for all the gifts. Rick Sr., you guys are great. John Gwynn said you can rob the diamonds and keep them if you're in France. Exactly. Sassy Minnesota girl, boss lady, Teresa Fria, thank you for all the gifts. Man, you guys are just lighting us up today. Thank you. Thank you. Wendy J said she's a very classy lady. Yes. Chris or Andre Lynn said she's a very classy woman and so beautiful. Yeah. What was that whole thing a couple of years ago when the Trump train? A couple of years ago when they had, I think it was Time Magazine or People Magazine, I can't remember. One of those big magazines were talking about the most beautiful first lady ever, and they brought up Michelle Obama as the most beautiful first. I mean, my God, do you talk about just? I don't even know how to express it. I mean, Dave, what did you hear that? Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
they couldn't say that. They wouldn't be able to. Alex, look at that then. Wow, that's a nice view. No, they couldn't say Melania. That would be cutting the. What do they say? Cut your hand off to feed your face, or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That old saying.
Cutting your nose off to spite your face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Franny Dragonfly, Lace and Steel. Thanks, you guys. That's so cool. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, James said he's backstage, Alex.
I don't see him. No.
Huh.
There he is. There he is.
I don't know what's going on with James. James, everybody's going, where's James? What happened, James?
Operator error.
No, I don't know because it kicked me off a couple of times a couple of days ago. Remember that? In fact, I think it did it to Alex as well. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But that's all right. He's back now. So did I get everybody on the Melania thing?
Yes.
Okay. Fearing U.S. reprisals, Mexico halted oil shipments to Cuba. Now, there is a whole lot more going on with Venezuela than meets the eye. And it sure looks to me like Mexico is snapping in line. What do you think, James?
Well, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum is walking a tightrope. She cites that it's general fluctuations in supply and a sovereign decision made under pressure from the United States. Her political rhetoric supporting Cuba and upcoming trade agreements with the United States is making her pretty skittish on what her decisions are. She doesn't want to probably enjoy any more tariffs than we already have in place, but keeping in mind Tren de Aragua and any other drug cartel that operates in Mexico is that's what we're after anyway. We are still hunting.
Yeah, exactly. Alex?
The hunted become the hunters. Look, I don't remember a time in my even youth that there wasn't something nefarious going on in the southern ports portion of this country. Look at the Mexico, Colombia, Nicaragua, like all of the things throughout history that have gone on in South America. And I think part of, Trump putting his foot down and saying America first is upsetting the apple cart across the world. But I think more so look at Venezuela. It was interesting. Marco Rubio yesterday on Cuba, brought up the fact that they're having blackouts that are lasting for days, can't keep their energy grid up, but they are the largest producer of sugarcane in the world.
Cuba is?
Something along those lines that he mentioned, and they have not produced. They're producing less than 2% or 3% historically of what they had the capability of producing before. We're watching it collapse. Who's had interest in these communist regimes for a very long time, and Trump's going through and cleaning it up. And if you are not in line, Mexico, you're gonna find out.
Yeah, exactly. Bat and Ballin, thank you for the sunglasses. John Langloy just showed up. Hey, John. Let's see here. Well, let's move on. Or did I get everybody on that? Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Well, they Mexico supplies 5,000 barrels a day, and their top refinery over there, um, before Venezuela, they did about 20 to 36,000 a day. So at 5,000 barrels a day in this between Venezuela and now, and they're not going to have anything. So they're going to bring out the mule and start put the.
Uh-oh, we lost Dave. Wow, it must be a Restream issue. Restream must be having issues today.
I don't know what's going on.
That was
Welcome
weird.
back.
Just what
Hey,
happened?
I wanted my spot back up on top.
Exactly.
hey, that works.
James, what do you? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to respond to Dave. Like I'm seeing that they were at one point at 20,000 barrels a day as well. And
A lot of Mexico.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, you just my heart. You and I talked, Dave, about the show that for a little while was out of Cuba and the cars and the way that they keep them going. Like what a resilient people. This is the government. It is not the people. And I think I personally would like to see them set back up for success.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. James?
You know, the United States never goes in militarily without correcting the problem after we leave. As soon as whatever needs to be settled is settled, I think the United States is going to take care of Cuba in the end. But for now, Mexico, they're on notice.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to the last story, Melissa Flinter said, "My husband says she's not a woman." Your husband is absolutely right, in my opinion. That's why she's called Big Mike. Casey MCG said, "Melania is one of the few first ladies that's actually a lady." Exactly. Boy, isn't that the truth? Wendy J said, "OFAF." I'm not sure what that means. You guys know what that means?
She changed it around, I think.
Oh, maybe. Oh, man, there we go. Okay. Mama Sass said people are dropping like flies on the show. I know it's so we all know that TikTok is making the transition and there's all kinds of challenges going on there. But I'm seeing the same things happening on Restream. I've seen some funky things happening on YouTube. Rumble is the only one that I don't think has been having issues. And I think they are a separate entity, for the most part. So we'll have to see.
I just got a YouTube your tab just crashed. It just crashed the YouTube feed.
Wow. I don't know what's going on, you guys.
I'm reloading. Because you put FBI in the title, dude. They're listening. Hi, guys.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. Well, again, President Trump, if you're listening, a double D or a daily dispatch would be appreciated as a hat tip, just in case you want to. All right, well, let's see here. Kathleen Garcia said, "We're all in our places with bright, shiny faces." Exactly. Oh,
you should have did IBF.
What's that?
You should have did IBF in
exactly. I might have to start mirroring the title so we don't
That's right.
Get in
Another
trouble.
statistic, it says that Cuba only has about 15 days left of oil reserves.
Ooh. You know what, though? Do you guys remember a couple of years ago when Tucker Carlson started beating the drum about we've only got 30 days of diesel left, and then it was a big story for about 3 days, and then boom, it was gone, just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on.
Talk about a story that's gone. Butler and the Butler situation, just gone.
I know.
I don't remember the last time he even brought up that day.
Yep, it's exactly right. Exactly.
It'll come out when they want it to.
That's exactly right.
You probably ought to pay the bill, Sam, and do sponsors.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Okay, everybody. Yeah, quick sponsor break. As you all know, I can't say websites anymore. So if you go to my website, it's my full name, samshalhoub. You know what? And if you go to My Pillow from there, use the code SAM, get up to 80%. Mike can use our support. Go buy some pillows, buy some blankets, get some sheets, help out Mike. Neil Naturopathic. If you go to my website, click on Neil Naturopathic button. The code to save 20% is SAM20. Dr. Glidden, same thing. Go to Dr. Glidden's button. Use the code SAM for a 30% discount on his membership, and it's well worth the money, I might add. And then, of course, Best Line Racing. Go to my website. Use the code SAM for your discount. Alex, what about meditation?
On TikTok, if you go to my profile, you can find the information on how to acquire said book, Beginner's Guide to a Life-Changing Meditation. Also on the Amazon, if you search for Alex Raymer. The health benefits, the changes in your life, if you can commit to doing it daily, are pretty profound.
Yep, 100%. I agree. And we're still waiting for that second book, Alex. I know. Sorry, I'm just keeping reminding you.
It's the last like 10% that's the hardest. It really is going back, editing, making sure your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, it flows like you want it, and then is it in or thanks, Sam. Damn it. I was in a good stress-free spot, and you're putting the heat on.
We're going to keep the pressure on until we get the second book.
Then go back to your old book and read up again and get rid of that stress, Alex.
Exactly. Moxie Chul just followed us. Hey, Moxie. LW Rainy 3 is here. Calfman 5665. Welcome in, Calfman. Glad you joined us.
Thanks, John.
Batten Ballin said, Sam's big, beautiful daily dispatch. Nice. I like that. That's cool. Hey, Valerie James is here. Hey, Valerie. Jason Coons just showed up. What's that, Alex?
Somebody just threw you like a car, Mercedes or something driving across the screen.
Oh, that was Mega Dave coming in. You guys, it just cracks me up.
Squirrel?
Rick Senior said he just pushed your button, Alex. Exactly. Holy smokes. All right. So let's move on. So we've been talking a lot about the fraud in Minnesota. We've been talking about the potential fraud in Iowa. We've been talking about the fraud in Maine. Now, Dr. Oz exposed a $3.5 billion with a B hospice fraud, a ring in Los Angeles, tied allegedly to the Russian Armenian mafia. A single 4-block stretch contained 42 fake Russian hospices. James, what do you think?
Well, he was forced to say something, Sam. Dr. Oz is the head of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. So he's going to have to rat it out. I mean, it's going to get found out. And if he's the head of it, he better talk about it because he doesn't want to lose his job.
Yeah, exactly. Dave?
Gavin Newsom says that is misleading, stating that the state already addressed many hospice oversights in 2022 legislation. But when you're getting paid, you're going to look over things. So obviously, like we said, California's next, New York, Illinois, line them up. Let's see what they got.
Exactly.
Empty your pockets, right?
Exactly. Wendy J, thank you for all the gifts. You guys are so sweet. Let's see. Batten Ballin said, Alex will give us the second book when Sam gets a tattoo. That's 250,000 followers.
Yes. I like that.
At least they didn't bring up the other thing that everybody's been on me about. Oh, God, that cracks me up.
The other thing.
Yeah.
Waxing.
What's the other thing?
The waxing.
Oh.
I know. All right, well, let's move on. So, what happened? Oh, did I mention you? Sorry, Alex. Exactly. In case anybody's wondering, Alex is playing an excerpt from the 40-year-old.
That wasn't me. That was Dave.
Oh, that was Dave?
Credit.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave gets credit. About the last topic, we'll just move on. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. There's so many squirrels in the chat today; it's hard to keep up.
I know. Going to keep finding fraud, and we're going to keep finding it in places that they've hidden it, I believe, for a very long time. And of course, Gavin Newsom is like, I don't know how the money got in my bank account. It's in the trillions, and we've talked about it before. What happens when over the course of 2025 and 2026 we uncover the same amount of fraud as our national debt? What does that mean? And how do we one, stop it. We're watching it happen in real time. They're finding it. They're stopping it. They're prosecuting it. They're sending, DOJ, FBI, fraud police in to clean this up. But really, what happens? And I think it's going to take every single one of us at the local level, because if it's going on in your state capital, it's going on in your local city hall and all the way down county levels. So, get involved, ask, do FOIA requests, find the budgets, understand where the money in your county, your town, your city is going, and then do what they're doing in Minnesota. Go look. Right? What does that hurt for us to be involved? Because if we're doing it like they're doing it, it's a clean sweep. They're done. They're
Well,
done.
just like General Flynn says, local action creates national impact, and I think there is a lot of wisdom in that. Hitesh said that'll happen only when Sam gets his back waxed by Crystal's monkey while getting a tattoo.
Jimmy John.
Yeah, no thanks, you guys. Oh my gosh, you guys are cracking me up this morning. Everybody must have had an extra cup of coffee or something. I don't know what's going on. But
I did bring an extra cup.
There we go. Talking about California, major parts of Wells Fargo Bank are exiting California and moving to Florida. Their wealth management division is leaving California because huge numbers of wealthy people are leaving due to a wealth tax that is coming. Now, this is now, I think, the fifth or sixth year in a row where more people have left California than have entered. That's never happened before. James, what do you make of it?
Well, it's a $16 billion revenue unit. There's going to be 100 senior executives, and they're heading for Florida for a more favorable tax environment. Other hubs that they're in, New York, St. Louis, and Charlotte.
Yeah. Rick Sr. said, Sam, how is Herb doing in the polls out there? I don't pay much attention to the polls, Rick. I think that they are manipulated, and they have been for a very long time. I do get messages from Herb from time to time. I don't know what's going on. We'll get him back on the show again soon, and he can give us an update. Alex, what do you make of this whole thing with Wells Fargo?
Well, it's high. I probably shouldn't say this live. I do have a family member that was originally with Wachovia. Wachovia bought out, Wells Fargo bought out Wachovia, or vice versa, but they kept the Wells Fargo name in the investment world. High taxes, regulation in the business climate, the branch economics and digital shift is another thing that we're looking at. Out migration and talent drain. Over 653,000 people left California in 2022 and 2023. Often other states like Texas, for other states like Texas, reducing the customer base, the talent pools. So when the population is exiting the state, all the businesses, not just banks, are having to reduce the number of locations because the customers just aren't there. And man, it breaks my heart, Sam, because we had an alfalfa farm between Madera and Chowchilla growing up as a kid. That's where my dad was at. We raised game birds, and California, from one end of the state to the other, I don't think there is a more diverse state. You can have desert, you can have mountains, you can have forests, it's an amazingly beautiful state. I hate that it is turned into the wingnut capital of our country. It's insane. So, if free market continues to work the way free market works, and there's nobody left to pay taxes, what happens to the state? And maybe that gets people to open their eyes. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. LSA.3 is here. Don the third G. Hey, Don, glad you can make it, brother. Yeah, so if we're looking at California in general, let's not forget when President Trump came out here after the fires, what did he say? We attacked California. We invaded California. And for him to write the executive order that he did concerning the fire-ravaged areas of the Palisades, you can't do that unless we're in a continuity of government or something like that. Now, that's just my opinion, but I think it critically thinking, that's probably what's going on. James?
I'm total agreements. We have to upright the ship somewhere. It's getting more complicated by the day, but I think as the snake backs itself into the corner, it's going to strike pretty soon.
Yeah, 100%. Dave?
Well,
go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say, it's not just Wells Fargo, Charles Schwab, Bank of America, U.S. Bank. Bank of America closed 132 branches statewide. U.S. Bank has closed 101. Community banks, consolidations, mergers, Oracle, Palantir have all left. Like it's people are leaving in droves. Kansas is terrible. So is Iowa.
The Trump train! Sorry, Alex. That was Big D. Thanks, Big D. I think it was Big D.
And I don't think it's just California, though, because we've lost a bunch of U.S. banks and a few things around here. So maybe it's more of a financial side of it, too, or a little bit of both. You know, Sam, you talked about it's the first time California's lost residents. And I know of lots who have gone to Florida and Texas and Arizona. But remember, it's the first time we've had more illegal aliens leave than come in. So it's probably just a coincidence on that end, too. You know,
Yeah.
California, losing residents and losing illegal aliens across the board. So
Layson Steele said, definitely California has everything in one state. The government needs to be corrected. You're 100% right, Layson Steele, and I believe it's already happening. And I think if you look at it logically, President Trump couldn't be doing what he's doing at a state level unless there was something going on behind the scenes. Again, that's just my opinion, but from a logical inference standpoint, I think that's exactly what's happening.
And what Alex said, when we raced in Fontana, we'd be down there and, the mountains behind us and I think it's called Big Bear, right? The ski lodge. I go, people are skiing up there. We're down here racing in 80-degree, 85-degree weather. It's just, it's hard for me to believe.
Yeah. Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead. I mean, literally I can drive an hour. I can drive a half an hour to the beach. I can drive an hour and a half to the desert. I can drive 2 hours to the mountains. I can drive an hour and a half to the forest up in Northern California. There's really no other place like it. We just got to get the government, like Layson Steele said, we got to get the government figured out. And I believe we're in the process of that. Let's see here. So Doug Rice 59 said, here in Michigan, banks have been closing and credit unions popping up everywhere. Well, again, I believe that's probably part of the reset. I think that the large banks, I mean, they're doing everything they can to find crypto, or they were. Now they're trying to accept it. And I think it's a day late and a dollar short. But I can't imagine the banks just going away. But is it possible that they have been assimilated? Is it possible that executive orders 13818 and 13848 have played a part in that? I think it's possible. All right, well, let's move on. So this was the title of the dispatch this morning. The FBI has executed a search warrant at Fulton County, Georgia election office in connection with the 2020 vote. Is this the first domino, James?
5 years, Sam. I think it's probably the last domino. It doesn't take a DOJ 5 years to go investigate something. And if they do hope to find anything, is there going to be traces, crumbs left? I would think that it's been scrubbed, it's been boxed, it's been taken away. We've already been there. This is something like you always talk about. It's probably already happened and just now becoming optical.
Right, exactly. Dave?
And I don't think it's so much about the 2020 election in the sense of fixing that. I think it's to fix the future elections and bringing this forth and show the corruption of what happened back then, and including 2016, but they just didn't do it enough.
Well, and I just had this conversation with a young lady this morning about the elections. So once 2020 gets exposed, what happens? All of a sudden, if 2020 is exposed, that means 2016 is going to be exposed, and 2012, and 2008, and so on and so forth. What happens in that constitutional crisis? My guess is we waylay all of Congress, and even President Trump steps down. Then you have a third party, being the military, holding elections with paper ballots, and we go through the process again. Now, that's just speculation on my part, but I think something like that has to happen, because you can't put the 2020 on an island and not look at the other ones that preceded that. Alex, what do you think?
So when they went in, they have seized just to give everybody an idea, this is about the 2020 election where uh, our current guy lost by 11,800 votes. Prior audits, recounts, investigations by officials found no evidence, but what they have gone in and seized is the original 2020 election records, including physical ballots, tabulator tapes, digital ballot images, voter rolls, which we all know the voter roll situation. If you don't, look into Captain Seth Keschel and his statistician mind that has broken down all 3,300 plus counties. Anyway, it is about the 2020, and I think even more so by showing what has gone on, it will protect what is coming this year. Like we're in an election year. Buckle up, everybody. There's peaceful protests going on already, and Dave sent a message this morning about something going on in India with a 40%, 70% mortality rate. If you catch it, like it's coming. It's election year. It's coming.
Yep, exactly.
It's coming.
James, any other comment?
There's a lot to be said about an election year. We talked about may or may not even happen. If we're under martial law, there's a likelihood that there won't be a midterm election.
It's quite possible. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that plays out across the board. Yeah, that was interesting. I seen that this morning, and India shutting down and doing very stuff they did in 2020. So, but it's not going to happen again. That's not going to happen again. I'm telling you.
Andrea Lynn 81 said, my husband is in IT and he's currently working on code for Schwab to add crypto. Not surprising. Batten Ballin said, crypto banks coming soon. Exactly. I just sent the guys, Ripple is applied for a banking. PayPal has applied for a banking permit. GM and Ford have applied for a banking permit. So we're in the middle of it. I'm telling you. I don't know how it's going to play out and when, but we're smack dab in the middle of it.
You go to the bank, it'll send it directly to Ford or send it. It's just, it's going to be streamlined and across the board.
The third-party counter risk, the middleman is going away.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. Oh, Brian said, and the Insurrection Act is what they want, so they claim Trump wants to be king. Well, in the Insurrection Act, there are 14 other presidents that have enacted the Insurrection Act. I could be wrong, 14 or 22, I forget. But a lot of other presidents have already done that. I think President Trump did it in 2020. That's just my opinion. But the optical play out of that, time will tell for sure.
Look at Venezuela. We're not occupying Venezuela. Like the guy doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to do this. He didn't have to do this. It's so funny, the whole king thing anyway.
And you know what's interesting too? So you have all of this talk about crypto, the banks, all that's going on. And then the Fed yesterday decided to hold the interest rates against President Trump's wishes. There's a reason for that. And again, if the Federal Reserve was already rolled into the Treasury is part of the executive branch. Who's the head of the executive branch? President Trump. I mean, you just have to follow the breadcrumbs. James, any comment? Yeah, go ahead.
That Insurrection Act has been a total of, I know you're going to be shocked by this number, 17 presidents have issued the Insurrection Act 30 times.
So it was 17. Okay, yeah, I didn't know
17.
Exactly what it was. Wow. And you know what's interesting? So Indonesia's stock market yesterday was crashed. They stopped trading for 30 minutes. I don't know that that's ever happened before. So you've got the banks. You've got, oh, wow, that was cool. What was that? Quarterback Frank from Nina. Thank you, Nina. You have the banks. You have the crypto. You have gold and silver fluctuating in the trillions of dollars in an hour. My gosh, you guys, spidey sense is off the charts. James?
Well, President Trump, back prior to the last quarter of last year, said that he wanted to see the interest rate drop 3.5 points. So October, we got a quarter. November, we got a 1/4%. December, we got a 1/4%. And Powell's just kicking the can down the road, as Dave likes to say. But we had hoped to get that other 2.5% last month. I was in that. I'm just going to call it some sort of tyranny trying to refinance my house, going through some kind of mental stress over it. But I had asked AI in the beginning of December about January's rate cut. And AI then said they expected 2.5. But as we graduated into the new year, I had asked AI about the rate cut of 2.5%. And January 1, it did say that the Fed would not cut a fourth month
Yeah,
in a row.
yeah. I think it's all theater and kayfabe, personally.
It's
Alex?
it is utter disappointment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a reason for it. Alex?
Well, looking at the precious metals, last night we were sitting at $5,500. 8 o'clock this morning it tanked to $5,100 on gold, but it just in the last hour and a half it's clawed back $300. We're sitting at 53.48. Like it's they're not going to be able to stop this train, dude. They're not.
No.
It's coming hard and fast. So you either get on board or get out of the way.
100%, I agree. 100%. Brian, I know that you're on our side. He said, "Oh, I get it, guys. I'm just thinking that's what the Dems want. I'm on your team, guys. We know you're on our
We
team."
know that. We know that.
No, but it's always good to look at things from different perspectives. I agree with 100%. T. Rainey just showed up, said, "Sorry I'm late. Difficult morning." Well, I hope everything's okay, T. Rainey. Blondie said 150,000 printed ballots, not folded, with perfectly filled in boxes for Biden. Let's not forget about the suitcases that were pulled out in Georgia from underneath the table. Let's not talk about the supposed water main that broke.
leak.
Yeah, exactly. The water main that broke. An overflowing toilet is not a water main breaking. Oh, Q17 said the banks are trying to keep the price down. Well, I don't think the banks have the juice that they used to. I think they're under submission. Now, how it's going to play out, I don't know, but I think that they're absolutely under submission. Bat and Ballin, thank you for the gifts. Very kind of you. Mary Lee's Brown, you're so sweet. All right, let's see. So, the Big Beautiful Bill Act gets allocated $12.5 billion to modernize the air traffic control system, and the FAA is starting. They're saying they're starting that process now. I'm sure it's well into the process. James, what do you think?
Well, as we're rolling out new aircraft, new technologies, we got to keep up with the times. Modernizing a new digital system by the end of 2028. It includes upgrading radar, software, communication tools to enhance safety, reduces delays, which is important to everybody because people are in demand, and integrate new technologies like drones. Um, this will create a dedicated Office of Airspace Modernization, Advanced Aviation Technologies Office. So that means more jobs. As we graduate into the AI world, the new world of travel, everybody expects we want it now, not yesterday. We don't want to be delayed, and people are getting tired of the old system. So if we have to jam money into a system that's old and archaic to make things better and faster as people demand more, I think it's called for.
Yeah, 100%. Mary Lee's Brown, thank you for all the gifts. So we have how many attack vectors happening right now? We have the banks, we have gold and silver, we have crypto, we have the political realm, geopolitical all over the world, not just here. And President Trump comes out and says, "I'm pleased to nominate Colin McDonald to serve as the first ever Assistant Attorney General for the National Fraud Enforcement, a new division at the DOJ." Do you guys, this is not by chance that all of these things are converging at once. Dave, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea is to keep the fraud out across the board because that's what supports the deep state and the bad guys. So, like I said, I've always said, you cut the head of the snake, the rest is going to go away. So that's the plan.
Right, exactly. Alex?
But if you've dealt with snakes a lot in your life, if you kill one, there's always another one laying right underneath the porch where you got the first one. So it's a matter of him going through putting the right people in place to one show the world what has been going on and what a new world would look like if that was no longer going on. I just this year is I even if we wanted the knowledge of a crystal ball and knew what was going to happen this year. I don't even think a crystal ball could predict what's coming. I just don't.
Right. Exactly. Dave?
No, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, with this infrastructure, um, like James, the FFA is phasing out the floppy disks and the Windows 95. So across the board.
Exactly. Exactly. Holy smokes, man. God.
Look at the F-47 being able to autonomously control and navigate and work with drones and all of that. Like the technology that's going into that stuff, you start applying that to the commercial airline space so that we don't have collisions, we don't have delays. I mean, the
Plane to plane radar, plane to plane. It's no different than drones flying in a field to know where they're at.
but you put the new system in place, and what does that open the door for? Where I'm going with that, personal flying vehicles that can do the same thing. You just go outside, get in your drone, and you fly to where you need to land and get out.
LA,
I mean,
LA is going to be testing it, right?
this is opening the door to a whole new freaking world of transportation. It's not just about updating, but 60, 70, 80-year-old systems that are in control of you getting to the ground safely. I haven't flown since 2017. I don't plan on doing it anytime soon.
Yeah. Andre Lynn 81 said, do we think the government will be shut down? Well, if you're talking about the budget battle, if you're talking about military martial law, I don't know. I don't know what to expect, honestly, you guys. I don't think anybody does. Like Alex said, there are so many vectors and control levers that are being manipulated right now. And I think it's by design. I think they want people on their heels so that they're open to information. That's the biggest thing that we're dealing with here is we have got to get people awake. We have
And
to get.
yep, I always think it's on the table, right, Sam? I always think it's on the table. It depends what cards are dealt and how Trump has to play it or the military has to play it.
Well, and I think there's a lot of truth in that, Dave. I think that the military and the people, the patriots in charge, are scraping the internet every day, every moment of every day to get an idea of what the pulse of the nation is. And then based on that, that's game theory. Once those metrics change, different things get released. James?
Well, with Colin McDonald, and we go back. I guess we're still on that topic too, but the normal people that are put in place in this country, like the DOJ, this is where Colin McDonald comes from. This administration has to hire new people for the other people to basically do their own job. This guy's sole purpose in life is to do a complete crackdown on systemic fraud in federal programs. And it's such a monumental thing. It's in every single corner that you look at. Fraud, 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 fraud. City, state, county, local, everywhere. And we have to answer to it. And you have to have a new guy. And this guy is heavily experienced because he's been under Pam Bondi and they're letting him go. The big dog's going to eat.
Right.
Maybe we should look at how other countries around the world handle these things. If you get caught stealing in other countries, they remove something so that you can't do it anymore. And guess what happens? That stops happening. We found it all, but I know a lot of people feel this way, like the accountability, like what when they bring things back to the town square for everybody to partake in, and that's a pretty big deterrent. I'd love to see some of that.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Full Metal Jacket just showed up. Hey, Mental. Mama Sass said, I'm still waiting for the big dogs to be prosecuted. It's coming. Jen from the block just became our 149th fan in the fan club. Welcome, Jen. So glad you decided to. Beverly Howard said, hey, everyone, running late today. That's all right. At least you made it. We have John Gwynn said automated cars. And I think that's part of it, John. I think that the air traffic controlling is not just for air traffic. I think it's for the robo taxis and the personal vehicle flying vehicles that are coming. I think it is all wound up into that. It's $12.5 billion upgrade. Something's up there. something is definitely up there. Knit Mom said, I'm all for public square justice. Exactly. Well, it's coming. It's coming. Benji 1959 said, we keep waiting for something to switch, arrest, some kind of great event. Well, I think we are going to have some catalyzing events, but I think more than anything, it is a process of waking people up. So we'll have to see how it plays out. I don't know for sure, but at the very least, I would make sure that your tray tables and seat backs are in their up and locked position because we're about ready to take off. All right, everybody. So that's it for today. Let's see where we at.
166.
Holy smokes!
Likes.
166,000 likes. You guys are awesome.
I think that's a record, Sam. 167.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
They really want to see your back waxed.
Yeah, no, that has nothing to do with the back waxing. Nice try, Alex. Nice
Kelly
try.
Clarkson.
Exactly. Not a chance. All right, everybody. So we are going to sign off on YouTube and Facebook over on Restream, and we'll be dancing on all the other platforms. So if you're on Facebook and YouTube, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Remember, tomorrow is Health and Wellness with Dr.